Steelers-Patriots. What an odd game this was. Steelers, for the first time in Aaron Rodgers' career, by the way, go into Foxborough, get a win. I almost call it Gillette Stadium. Is it still Gillette Stadium?
Yes.
Okay, I can never keep up with some of the, like Heinz Field is Heinz Field. I think it's like Acrisure Stadium or something like that. I'm just always going to call it Heinz Field. So I had to make sure. I had to I second guess myself. I was like, wait a second.
They get so locked in, and that's just what
I know. If you're like the sponsor for more than 10 years, I feel like you're just the sponsor for life. That's what everybody's going to know you as. Anyways, I'm probably pissed off some sponsors there with that one. Pittsburgh wins this game 21-14. Wouldn't be the first time. Let's take a look at the top 5 graded Pittsburgh Steelers that we have here, as they did come away with the road victory. Defensive tackle Cam Hayward, the ageless one, 92.2. Safety Jabril Peppers with a 90.4. Offensive guard Isaac Sumelo with a 70.9. Cornerback Darius Slay, a 76.2. Cornerback Brandon Eccles with a 73.4. And then Aaron Rodgers in this one. Got the win. A win is a win. It's all that matters.
Because wins are a QB stat, right?
34.8. On New England side of things, edge rusher Harold Landry with a elite 91.6. Love to see that. Linebacker Robert Spillane to 79.1. Tight end Austin Hooper 75.1. And then tight end Hunter Henry is 71.0. Offensive tackle Morgan Moses 68.4. And then Drake May in this one, a 56.4. Dalton, stats told the story.
Some would say the Steelers beat the Patriots. I would say the Patriots beat the Patriots.
I would agree.
This game came down to nothing more than New England beating themselves with 5 turnovers, and turnovers that very directly took points off the board for themselves and handed the Steelers most of their points as well. First drive, Ramondre Stevenson fumble leads to a Steeler touchdown. Drake May, the interception in the end zone in Pittsburgh's end zone that was just tipped a little bit by Cam Hayward. We'll get to him in a bit. That takes 7 off the board. Ramondre Stevenson fumbles about an inch before the goal line. That takes a touchdown off the board. Antonio Gibson fumbles at Pittsburgh's 43 as New England's driving in. Drake May fumbles at Pittsburgh's 39. That eventually leads to a Steeler touchdown. So think about that. 4 of the 5 turnovers in Steeler territory. 2 of them going into the end zone directly. Every other number tells you the Patriots should have won this game. You watch this game and the Patriots should have won this game, and they put themselves in an early hole with turnovers. They clawed all the way back to tie the game, and then the late turnovers put them away. You just can't. You're not going to win games with 5 turnovers. Yep. We said it earlier with Cincy, and they got whacked in that game. That's often what happens. New England, despite all of their mistakes, had a chance to win this game, and then another chance to tie this game, and the play call and the DeMario Douglas being short of the first down marker on the route and all of that is another thing. But at the end of the day, the Pats, they got to feel like, Mike Vrabel's got to feel like they gave one away. They beat themselves.
I agree. Total yards in this game, Patriots 369, Steelers 203. Time of possession, Patriots 33 minutes, 20 seconds, Steelers 26 minutes, 40 seconds. Offensive plays, Patriots 71, Steelers 49. Fumbles, Patriots 4 fumbles, 1 loss. The Steelers 1 fumble, and they lost that as well. No, I thought the Steelers picked up that one. Maybe I read that one wrong, because I know Rodgers had the fumble that the Steelers ended up picking up. That was one of his 2 turnover-worthy plays, which, getting to Rodgers' grade, I mean, I see some people in the chat kind of talking about Aaron Rodgers' grade. I know he's your most disappointing, but when you look at Rodgers, 16 for 25, 139 passing yards, 5.6 yards per pass attempt. I mean, below 6 yards per pass attempt. 2 turnover-worthy plays, which one was the fumble, and then the other one was the interception that he had. 0 big-time throws in this one. I mean, Rodgers just didn't really do anything, and he had the 2 turnover-worthy plays, which are heavily impactful. So, I think that his overall grade, and specifically, what was the passing grade? The passing grade was
some in the 30s.
37.5. That's probably lower than what you would expect for Rodgers. But the issue is he didn't really have the plays to counterbalance 2 turnover-worthy plays. And so when you don't have that, the turnover-worthy plays are going to, you'll see some quarterbacks, I've seen before, Trevor Lawrence has had 3 turnover-worthy plays, and his PFF passing grade is still something like a 67 or whatever, and you go, well, hold on, he had 3 turnover-worthy plays. Well, it's because he also had 3 or 4 big-time throws. And so, yeah, you have both of those things, but you at least have the big-time throws to be able to counter out, or you were pushing the ball down the field, you had the yards, you had the longer completions, whatever it was. Rodgers didn't have any of that. It was short passes or turnovers. That was about it. So that's just giving people a little bit of I know people are sometimes wondering about the grades. Like, that's how we get to Rodgers' grade being lower, is that he just didn't have a lot of throws. He didn't have a lot of completions, especially deep down the field. So when you have the turnovers on top of that, they weigh heavily because there's nothing to counterbalance them.
I find it interesting that we're going to find out this week. I personally, if I'm watching these first 3 games, the Steelers, think about how close they are to 0-3, right? The Jets, the Xavier Gibson fumble, all the blown coverages in the Jets secondary. They still needed a 60-yard Chris Boswell field goal to beat the Jets a couple weeks ago. This game, it's just New England just falling all over themselves with the turnovers. Aaron Rodgers right now, right now he's got the 3rd worst passing grade in the league, only ahead of Bo Nix and Michael Penix. And those are other conversations. Aaron Rodgers, you just mentioned it, 16 completions in this game, Trev. 9 of them were behind the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
5.6 yard average depth of target. You mentioned the 2 turnover-worthy plays, 1 interception, and the interception was just awful.
He's getting hit, and he's just letting the ball go.
And under pressure, there's nothing. Honestly, watching every throw back again, Aaron Rodgers made 3 good throws in this game. There was a throw early over the middle on 3rd down to Jonnu Smith, and then there was the 2 touchdowns, both back shoulder fades that are the usual Rodgers throws. Other than those 3 throws, he did absolutely nothing. If we're looking at Pittsburgh and the way that they've played offensively through 3 games, and right now they're the 3rd lowest graded offense as a unit in football, the bubble's going to pop. And they're going to play teams possibly next week. They're playing Minnesota in Ireland next week, which is funny because last year when the bubble popped for the Rodgers and the Jets, they went to London and they played Brian Flores and the Vikings, and he threw, I believe, 3 interceptions, and it was never the same from there. Funny kind of weird symmetry how that goes. I'm sure the NFL, the script, that's in the script too, But this offense, not just Rodgers especially, but not just him, they don't have a single player above a 71 PFF grade.
Wow.
DK Metcalf has a 70.9, and that's the highest graded player on their whole offense. The offensive tackles are bad. They can't run the ball. Aaron Rodgers, to be honest with you, there is no more fool's gold right now in the NFL than Aaron Rodgers' touchdown to interception ratio.
What is it?
Is it 6-1?
Oh, really?
It's 7-3. He threw 2 last week against Seattle.
Okay.
But even then, if you're just looking at that and you're looking at a 65% completion percentage, fantastic. Good for you. Aaron Rodgers does not look good. He doesn't. The offensive tackles don't look. Jones and Fautanu, that's a real problem. And they're not running the ball at all. I think that we're going to find out if they can go to Ireland and play well against Brian Flores in Minnesota and do all that. We just saw what the Vikings defense did to the Bengals. And for as much as you want to say it's Jake Browning, Steelers offense isn't much better. We're gonna find out next week, because every underlying thing we have indicating right now says the Steelers' offense, this bubble's gonna pop.
Yeah,
they are skidding by against teams like the Jets and the Patriots, because those 2 teams, the Jets, again, they just don't know how to cover anybody right now, and the Patriots beat themselves in this game.
Yeah,
Aaron Rodgers right now is actually, if I factor in overall grade, is the 2nd lowest graded quarterback in the league, only ahead of Bo Nix.
Man, Nick's still the lowest. Yeah, I believe it after this week, actually, because it's probably 4. No, that's 3 games from him in the 40s, right? Because did he have a 40 this week?
I think this week was like closer to 60.
Oh, was it?
It was more traffic coney this week.
Nah, we're getting back up there. He's elite.
No,
we'll talk about Bo Nix a little bit.
I'm sure we will.
I agree with you with the Steelers. It does feel as though they're feasting on opponents that not only are sort of like inferior, but just can't get out of their own way. I mean, it was the blown coverages by the Jets, and then it was just the fumbles by the Patriots this week that were their demise. Most impressive for me, I talked about the Vikings tight end passing game, Patriots tight end passing game. Hunter Henry, 73.2, Austin Hooper, 68.9, only receiving grades on the team above a 60. So it just wasn't a great overall game because a lot of the turnovers and fumbles and everything go into player grades, but at least the tight ends were playing well for the New England Patriots.
For sure. I mean, I think there's a lot of guys who, on a down-to-down basis, played well for the Patriots. It's just the big moments and the turnovers. You you got to hold the football. It's that simple. Ramondre Stevenson had this problem last year. Now it's back with 2 in this game, right? And then Antonio Gibson comes in for Stevenson, and he fumbles, right? And then Drake May, and I know, and I'm going to get to my most impressive here. Look, age don't matter. I know he wants to be paid. Everybody wants to be paid. Cam Hayward still got it, man. I mean, you could just clearly see the impact plays because, again, the interception into the end zone, it wasn't a great throw anyway from Drake, but it did get tipped by Cam Hayward at the line. You've got the forced fumble on Stevenson on the 1-yard line from Cam Hayward. He was also fantastic in run defense throughout the game. I mean, this is the reason the Steelers can still win games, is because if one day it's TJ Watt, another day it's Alex Highsmith, another day it's Cam Hayward, another day it's Nick Herbig, one day it's going to be Derek Harmon. This defensive line is really the one redeeming quality to this Steelers team right now, I think. I mean, Cam Hayward, to still come out of games at his age as their highest graded player and the highest graded player in this game, it's just ridiculous.
Let's see. Most disappointing is the running backs. You touched on Rodgers. Anything else in this game before we move on?
Nope. New England's just got to execute better.